Nirvana and enlightenment are fundamental concepts in Buddhism, representing the ultimate goals and states of spiritual realization. Nirvana. Nirvana represents the state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth samsara. It's the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Nirvana is often described as a state of perfect peace, freedom, and ultimate happiness, beyond the limitations of worldly existence. Cessation of suffering. Nirvana is the complete cessation of craving, ignorance, and the causes of suffering, as outlined in the Four Noble Truths. 1. Understanding the nature of suffering dukkha. The first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering, in various forms: physical, mental, and emotional. It encompasses dissatisfaction, impermanence, and the unsatisfactoriness inherent in life. 2. Identifying the causes of suffering. The second noble truth delves into the causes of suffering, pointing to craving, tanha, and attachment as the root causes. Craving for pleasure, for things to remain unchanged, and for a separate self perpetuates suffering. 3. Cessation of suffering, nirvana. The third noble truth offers hope by asserting that suffering can be ended. Nirvana refers to the cessation, the stopping or ending of craving, attachment, and the causes of suffering. 4. The path to cessation, magga. The fourth noble truth outlines the Noble Eightfold Path, which serves as the path leading to the cessation of suffering. This path includes ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. Key aspects of cessation of suffering. Freedom from craving. Cessation of suffering involves freeing oneself from the chains of desire and craving, which perpetuate the cycle of suffering. It's a state of contentment and freedom from attachment to impermanent things. Realizing impermanence. Understanding the impermanent and ever-changing nature of existence is crucial. Embracing impermanence allows one to let go of attachments and accept the transient nature of all phenomena. Transcending the ego. Cessation of suffering entails transcending the ego, or the illusion of a separate, permanent self. Recognizing the interconnectedness of all things helps in freeing oneself from self-centered desires. Attaining equanimity. It involves cultivating equanimity, a balanced, non-reactive state of mind in the face of life's ups and downs. Equanimity allows one to navigate experiences without being overwhelmed by emotions. Embracing mindfulness and compassion. Mindfulness and compassion play crucial roles in the cessation of suffering. Mindfulness helps in being fully present, observing thoughts and emotions without attachment, while compassion fosters empathy and kindness toward oneself and others. The cessation of suffering, as taught in Buddhism, is not about the absence of challenges, but rather about how one relates to those challenges. It involves a profound transformation in perspective and understanding, leading to a state of liberation and inner peace, despite the inevitable fluctuations of life. Freedom from rebirth. Attaining nirvana means breaking free from the cycle of reincarnation, achieving a state of transcendence beyond the bounds of existence. The concept of freedom from rebirth, known as moksha, liberation in some traditions, is central to certain interpretations of Buddhist teachings, particularly within the framework of nirvana. In Buddhism, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara, is characterized by the continuous cycle of suffering caused by ignorance, attachment, and craving. Freedom from rebirth signifies liberation from this cycle of perpetual existence, ending the cycle of samsara. The goal of freedom from rebirth is to break free from the cycle of samsara. This cycle perpetuates suffering as individuals continue to experience birth, aging, illness, death, and subsequent rebirth due to karmic influences. Attaining nirvana. Nirvana is often associated with the cessation of rebirth. Attaining nirvana signifies liberation from the cycle of rebirth and the associated suffering. It represents the ultimate goal of many Buddhist practitioners, seeking liberation from samsara, cutting the roots of karmic causes. Freedom from rebirth involves breaking the cycle of karmic causes and effects that lead to further existence. It requires addressing and uprooting the underlying ignorance, desires, and attachments that perpetuate the cycle, realizing emptiness and interconnectedness. Attaining freedom from rebirth involves realizing the nature of reality, understanding the concept of emptiness, and recognizing the interconnectedness of all phenomena. This realization leads to liberation from the illusions of self and the world. Achieving ultimate liberation, the goal of freedom from rebirth, is not merely to avoid future rebirth, but to attain ultimate liberation from suffering in all its forms. It involves complete freedom from the limitations and constraints of existence. Path to freedom. The Noble Eightfold Path, as taught by Buddha, serves as the path leading to freedom from rebirth. Practicing ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom paves the way to ultimate liberation. It's important to note that the interpretation and understanding of freedom from rebirth may vary among different Buddhist traditions and schools. However, the overarching aim is to achieve liberation from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. Attaining a state of ultimate peace, freedom, and enlightenment. Realization of emptiness. Nirvana involves understanding the true nature of reality, realizing the concept of emptiness, that all phenomena lack inherent, independent existence. The concept of emptiness, sunyata, is a profound philosophical teaching in Buddhism, particularly within the Mahayana tradition. It's a central concept in understanding the nature of reality and the path to liberation. Understanding emptiness. Emptiness refers to the lack of inherent, independent existence in all phenomena. It doesn't imply non-existence, but rather the absence of inherent, permanent identity or essence. Everything is interdependent and devoid of fixed, self-contained identity. Dependent origination. Emptiness is closely tied to the concept of dependent origination. Pratitya Samutpada. It suggests that all things arise and exist dependently on other factors, lacking inherent, intrinsic nature. Core teaching in Mahayana Buddhism. Emptiness is a fundamental teaching in Mahayana Buddhism, particularly emphasized in the Prajnaparamita Sutras, where the Heart Sutra is a notable text expounding on the concept, nature of reality. Emptiness reveals the true nature of reality, transcending our conventional understanding of existence. It challenges our perception of solidity and permanence, revealing the fluid and interdependent nature of all things. Liberation and wisdom. Realizing emptiness is crucial for attaining liberation nirvana. It's seen as the wisdom that cuts through ignorance and leads to freedom from suffering. The middle way. Emptiness is aligned with the middle way, avoiding extremes of existence or non-existence. It emphasizes a balanced understanding of reality, acknowledging both conventional existence and ultimate emptiness. Emptiness of self, anatta. Emptiness extends to the notion of self, anatta. It teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging self-entity. Rather, the self is a composite of ever-changing elements lacking inherent essence. Transformative understanding. The realization of emptiness is transformative. It challenges deeply held views and leads to a shift in perspective, cultivating compassion, humility, and interconnectedness. Meditative inquiry. Realizing emptiness is often approached through meditative inquiry and contemplation. Practitioners engage in deep reflection to understand the nature of reality beyond conventional perceptions. In essence, the realization of emptiness is a profound insight that transcends ordinary understanding, offering a deeper understanding of reality. It's a key component of Buddhist teachings that leads to wisdom, liberation, and a compassionate way of being in the world. Enlightenment. Enlightenment, also known as awakening or Buddhahood, refers to the state of profound understanding and spiritual insight attained by Gautama Buddha and other awakened beings. Bodhi, awakening. It signifies the moment of profound insight and understanding that liberates one from ignorance and leads to the cessation of suffering. It's the realization of the Four Noble Truths. Bodhi, commonly translated as awakening or enlightenment, is a profound state of realization and understanding in Buddhism, particularly associated with the experience of Gautama Buddha and other awakened beings. Meaning of Bodhi. Bodhi signifies a deep awakening or realization that leads to freedom from ignorance and the attainment of profound insight into the nature of existence. The experience of Gautama Buddha. Bodhi refers specifically to the pivotal moment in the life of Gautama Buddha when he achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. It marked his awakening to the Four Noble Truths and the Middle Way, the Four Sights. Before his enlightenment, Gautama Buddha encountered four sights: a sick person, an old person, a dead person, and a wandering ascetic. These encounters prompted his quest to seek answers to the nature of suffering and the means to end it. The noble quest for truth. Bodhi represents the culmination of Gautama Buddha's noble quest for truth and liberation from suffering. He attained supreme insight into the causes of suffering and the path to its cessation. Core aspects of Bodhi. Bodhi encompasses profound understanding, wisdom, compassion, and freedom from the cycle of suffering samsara. Components of Bodhi. Bodhi involves the realization of the Four Noble Truths: suffering, its causes, cessation, and the path leading to cessation. It's an experiential understanding that transcends mere intellectual knowledge. Attaining nirvana. Bodhi is often associated with the attainment of nirvana, signifying liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. It's the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice. Bodhisattva ideal. Bodhi is not solely for personal liberation, but also aligns with the Bodhisattva ideal, a vow to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Bodhisattvas aspire to guide others to liberation out of compassion. Continuous cultivation. While Bodhi represents a pivotal moment, it's also a continuous process of cultivating wisdom, compassion, and understanding in one's spiritual journey. In essence, Bodhi signifies the ultimate awakening to the truth of existence, leading to liberation from suffering and the attainment of profound wisdom and compassion. It's a state of realization that serves as the guiding light for practitioners seeking enlightenment and the cessation of suffering. Compassion and wisdom. Enlightenment combines wisdom and compassion. It's not only about personal liberation, but also involves the heartfelt wish to help others achieve liberation from suffering. 1. Compassion, karuna. Definition. Compassion refers to the empathetic concern for the suffering of oneself and others. It's a heartfelt wish to alleviate suffering and promote the well-being of all beings. Role in Buddhism. Compassion is considered one of the highest virtues in Buddhism. It's cultivated through the understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings and the recognition of the universality of suffering. Bodhisattva ideal. Compassion is central to the Bodhisattva ideal, a commitment to attaining enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Bodhisattvas aspire to alleviate suffering and guide others to liberation out of deep compassion. manifestation in action. Compassion is not merely a feeling, but is expressed through actions and behaviors aimed at benefiting others, showing kindness, and relieving suffering whenever possible. 2. Wisdom, prajna. Definition. Wisdom in Buddhism refers to profound insight into the true nature of reality, including the understanding of impermanence, interdependence, and the absence of inherent existence. Understanding emptiness. Wisdom includes realizing the concept of emptiness, sunyata, acknowledging the lack of inherent, permanent essence in all phenomena. Role in liberation. Wisdom is essential for liberation from suffering. It involves seeing through the illusions of self and reality, cutting through ignorance, and understanding the impermanent and interconnected nature of existence. Application of right view. Wisdom is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, specifically right view, samadhi. It involves seeing reality as it truly is, free from delusions or misconceptions. Interconnection between compassion and wisdom. Compassion and wisdom are considered inseparable in Buddhism. Compassion without wisdom may lead to blind actions, while wisdom without compassion may lack empathy and warmth. The union of compassion and wisdom is symbolized in the figure of a bodhisattva, a being who possesses both profound wisdom and immeasurable compassion. The cultivation of both qualities is seen as essential on the path to enlightenment. Wisdom guides compassionate actions, and compassion infuses wisdom with warmth and empathy. In essence, the integration of compassion and wisdom is a cornerstone in Buddhist teachings. Cultivating both qualities leads to a harmonious and balanced approach to life, fostering the aspiration for personal liberation and the alleviation of suffering for all beings. The middle way. The path to enlightenment involves following the middle way, a balanced approach that avoids extreme indulgence or extreme asceticism. The middle way. Majjhima Patipada is a fundamental concept in Buddhism, representing a balanced and harmonious approach to life, practice, and understanding. Origin and significance. The middle way was expounded by Gautama Buddha after his realization that extreme asceticism, denying oneself basic needs, did not lead to enlightenment, nor did indulgence in sensual pleasures. He advocated a path between these extremes. It's considered a core teaching found in various Buddhist traditions, emphasizing balance, moderation, and avoidance of extremes in all aspects of life. Avoidance of extremes. The middle way advocates avoiding extremes in various areas, such as indulgence in sensual pleasures versus extreme asceticism, holding onto views versus total skepticism, and being overly rigid versus completely careless in one's conduct. It doesn't promote mediocrity, but rather emphasizes finding a balanced approach that leads to wisdom and liberation. Application in practice. Ethical conduct. In the context of ethical conduct, the middle way guides practitioners to neither be too strict nor too lax. It encourages following ethical principles without being overly rigid or self-punishing. Meditation and mindfulness. In meditation and mindfulness practices, it advocates a balanced approach, being attentive and focused without striving too hard or becoming lax. Understanding reality. Regarding views and understanding reality, the middle way encourages discernment and understanding, without clinging to extreme positions or absolutism. Path to liberation. The middle way is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. All aspects of the path embody a balanced and moderate approach. It guides practitioners towards liberation, nirvana, by avoiding extremes that can lead to suffering or hinder the path to enlightenment. harmony and balance. The middle way fosters harmony within oneself and with the world. It promotes a balanced lifestyle that avoids both excessive austerity and excessive indulgence. In essence, the middle way is a guiding principle that encourages balance, moderation, and harmony in various aspects of life. It's a path that leads to wisdom, understanding, and ultimately, liberation from suffering. Differences. While nirvana is the state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of birth and death, enlightenment is the profound realization and understanding that leads to nirvana. Enlightenment is the process or state of awakening, whereas nirvana is the ultimate goal and state of liberation. Both nirvana and enlightenment are core concepts in Buddhism, representing the highest spiritual attainments and embodying the ultimate goal of ending suffering and achieving lasting peace and freedom.